So it's funny, like when we started filming this, I realized like morning routine is literally the same every day. So I'm a product or an advocate of like schedule, like strict routine. I have everything laid out. I do everything to make sure that everything's optimal, right? I want to be producing constantly, so it helps me to have a routine. So for every morning I wake up at about 5:30 a.m. and I immediately go on a power walk. And it sounds crazy, and like some of the people out there look at me like I'm crazy. I want to wake myself up, and I call it a shift move. So essentially this is where I used to do push-ups first thing in the morning or a cold shower or whatever it may be, but essentially I want to just snap out of it, wake up and be alert, get back, make coffee, and then I go straight into meditation. So now that I'm awake and I'm alert, I go into at least 5 minutes, but up to 10 minutes of power meditation. So I just focus on mantras and sayings that are going to essentially put me in power for the day, create confidence that I'm going to actually produce today. So one that I constantly use is, I will produce in power with purpose. And I just repeat that over in my head because that's exactly what I want to do. And I want to make sure I can do that without stress, anxiety, and overwhelm, right? That a lot of us get first thing in the morning. To that, I actually run through a couple different drills called the stack, positive focus, gratitude journal, a bunch of different things that just allow me to be grateful for what I have in life, look forward to the day, and then learn from experiences that I've been going through. So very basic stuff, but it's just super powerful. Grinding away, doing work at home all morning. It's 11:30, so I just got done making a big smoothie. So every morning I typically fast like 12 to 14 hours a day. Helps my mental clarity, my focus. It just feels better. I don't like eating first thing in the morning, so my first meal is always like a big greens drink, and I just put a ton of nutrients in there because I just want to get as much as I can in the morning. So greens and fish oil and apple cider vinegar, all that stuff you probably saw on the screen. And then I do a big smoothie. So we got like berries and some different like protein, some greens powder in there, just different things that are gonna, again, nutrients and give me some fuel. Now we're heading to boxing. So I alternate between boxing and Muay Thai. It's a little bit different every time. So we'll see what Mike's got in store for me today. My coach is named Mike Chuppa. He's an MMA fighter. So essentially I do a little bit of both, and whatever he has planned is kind of what I dive into. I definitely incorporate it as part of my training because I can't train balls to the wall and do boxing on a regular basis. It's just too much, right? Like, because it's draining. But my fuel is one thing that always, so I got jumped when I was 20 years old almost. I got hit in the head with a glass bottle, knocked out unconscious, and I essentially stomped out. I woke up and was in the hospital and everything, and that scared the living shit out of me, and it kind of put me in a different mind frame as like how precious life is essentially. And I wanted to be in a state where I could protect myself, and that's how I started getting interested in boxing, but I was always too afraid to go. So actually I hired a coach, and he actually was the one that kept pushing me until I finally paid and got a coach and found somebody that could teach me how to fight essentially. And I have no desire to go fight in a ring or anything, but to me there's a mental side of it that, one, gives confidence just to be able to protect yourself and your loved ones, but then two, as a man, there's a different part of you that comes out when you're training in here, because I can't text, I can't think about anything. I'm very uncomfortable, which is huge for growth. When I'm in the gym training, I'm comfortable. This is my zone. This is what I do. I can train all day. Like, that's easy. Even if I'm doing a difficult workout, I'm comfortable. Every time I go here, I get a little bit of anxiety because it's different, it's scary, and it taps into this physicality that I think every man needs. No matter what your situation is or what kind of success you're trying to achieve in life, something about martial arts or training yourself in a way that you're not used to and comfortable with taps into a different part of your body. It's too hard to explain, but your mind works differently after you start doing it. After training, we go back to the crib, and then I pretty much go back to work. So emails, programming, content, whether it's for Instagram, podcast, my blog, the Bigger Ground Fitness blog, Facebook, all these different avenues that I try to write for and build content through. It's just work with that. I mean, obviously I'll eat a big meal when I get home, and then it's grinding away for a few hours, and then I'm gonna head to Vigor and start working with clients one-on-one. So that's when I start training people. Yeah, and it's pretty much the same shit every day. Alternates between boxing and training myself in the gym. What I read changes every day. The clients I have coaching calls with or consultation calls with change every day. Like I have clients in, now it's crazy, Israel, Iceland, Florida, Canada, New York, all throughout California, Midwest. So the calls I go throughout the day are usually coaching calls or like interviews with people who want to hire me. So it's a big it's an interesting day full of different conversation, which is really, really cool. So it kind of depends. I mean, shit, I was the fat kid growing up. So for me, it was like a big drive to just transform my body, because I was tired of looking and feeling a certain way about myself and never coming out about it, because I was too shy or embarrassed to admit that I wasn't okay with how I looked, and I wasn't okay with how my mind worked because of that, because I was unconfident, right? So that started my drive to do it all. And then once I helped another person do the same, it just grew. Just like any other trainer, they'll tell you, like, I do it because I help people, but it just kept growing. And then I see the business side of it, and man, I have a purpose to create for me, for Shannon, for my family, for my future family, and for everybody who I love. That it just, I don't know, man, like I'm insanely fascinated with the ability to change your body and to build a business, essentially. So it's just a daily grind for that. And I realized that there's a lot of people who just want to feel a little bit better and look a little bit better, who are going through that same shit that I was going through, where I didn't know what to do to get there. And after working with hundreds and hundreds of people and reaching thousands online, like, I've discovered that it's a lot simpler than you think, right? Like, meditate once a day to keep yourself calm, like, get enough sleep, train hard, like, push yourself, stay positive, and just eat real fucking food. It's a lot more simple than people make it out to be. And that's kind of what I do now, is like show people that it's simple and you just need a little bit of structure and accountability, right? So a good tagline is, you don't need more information, you need more accountability. And the more you seek information, the more overwhelmed anxiety and stress you'll get, because you get all these different things in your head that tell you got to do XYZ or this other idea or this thing that the one ripped dude on Instagram is doing, when in reality it's super simple, and what you can do just needs to be consistently done.